Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Thursday, September 29th, 2022. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief. Well, we screwed up. I put in last week's Annapolis After Dark from Bridgett instead of this week's, but hey, at least the DNB was on time, as it always is. Anyhow, we did update it midday yesterday, and we'll tack it on after Trevor a little bit later today for those that got the bum info yesterday. I do apologize for that. With that said, we do have some news, so let's get into it, shall we? For now, this is being called a suspicious death, but the Anne Arundel County Police Homicide Unit is investigating the death of an unknown person. Yesterday at about midnight, they were dispatched to a car fire in the middle of a field near Brockbridge Road and Tribeca Trail in Laurel. Once extinguished, they found a charred remains of a body in the back seat. The remains were sent to the chief medical examiner, who will determine the cause and manner of death and, if possible, the identity. Police are asking anyone that may have seen anything to contact them at 410-222-4700. Yesterday, County Executive Pittman and Mayor Buckley announced the newly appointed board for the new Resiliency Authority, which will be tasked with overseeing the rebuild of City Dock and other projects around the county to thwart the threat of sea level rise and climate change. The county executive appointed Jamie Benoit, a former county councilman, Teresa Sutherland, a former city manager for Annapolis, Veronique Bougnon, Stacy Schaefer, Mike Sewell, Emily Clifton, and Mariah Davis. Mayor Buckley appointed former Ward 5 Alderman Jared Littman, Nate Bettnam, and Vince Leggett. Their first meeting is at the end of October. Speaking of City Dock and all that, Annapolis City Manager Mike Malinoff has given super special permission to the boat shows to begin setting up a little bit earlier than planned due to the incoming storm. So just beware that there will be restricted parking, tents being put up, cranes and forklifts driving around, docks being floated, and all of that just a little bit earlier. The Powerboat Show does kick off on the 6th of October, and you make sure you want to check out that recent bonus podcast we did. I'm real proud of that one. Hey, 227. Do those numbers ring a bell? Well, sometime in the spring of 2023, it will be ringing bells of telephones in Maryland. It seems like we are running out of 240 and 301 area codes, and we need a new one. And the PSC said 227 is it. Geez, I remember when 301 was the only area code for Maryland. Now we're going to have 301, 410, 240, 443, and soon enough, 227. I got an interesting email from a website called Bet Maryland yesterday listing the 10 most expensive tickets in Maryland for October. Number 1 was a concert, I Prevail, at the Fillmore in Silver Spring, with tickets starting at $375. Number 2 was another concert, Steve Lacy at the Baltimore Soundstage for $193. Coming in third was the Ravens-Bills game at $189. Boy, I tell you, entertainment is getting very expensive. Speaking of concerts, the Annapolis Songwriters Festival was such a success, it is coming back. So if you loved it or missed it, put September 14th to the 17th, 2023 on your calendar. And if Chet Gladchuck is listening, don't schedule a Navy football game on that weekend. Boy, tonight is a busy night. Bourbons, Blazers, and Cigars. There are a few tickets left. You can get them at annapolis.org. Cruise Out Hunger for the Food Bank. You can get a couple tickets there at aafoodbank.org. There is a benefit for Ukraine at Homestead Gardens, and tickets are available at homesteadgardens.com. There's a sponsor party for the Annapolis Film Festival at the Annapolis Maritime Museum in Eastport, and something that does not require a ticket or a sponsorship, the last September Sunset Concert Series at the park half of the Annapolis Maritime Museum and Park at 6 p.m. On deck tonight is Loose Ties with the Chevy's food truck, and of course, they're going to have a bar for your enjoyment as well. As with all their concerts, it's free, but they do ask for a donation to help support the museum, suggested in the $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $40,000 range. Parking is limited, so rideshare, bike, walk, boat, do what you need to do. If you show an Uber or a Lyft receipt, you'll get a free drink ticket. And this truly does mark the end of summer when the final September Sunset Concert Series closes. And that's all I got news-wise. Up on the podcast stuff, up this weekend on the Local Business Spotlight, we chat with Jeff Holland, who is the wearer of many hats and really is the master of them all. And I will say, I guess that's a wrap for today. As always, thank you for being you, and thank you to our sponsors for today's Daily News Brief: Solar Energy Services, the Christy Neidhardt Team of Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster Company, and Scout and Molly's. It's Thursday, so we have Trevor from Annapolis Makerspace here with your Maker Minutes, and George from DCMDVA Weather is here with your locally forecast weather. And because we screwed Bridgett yesterday, we're going to tag the correct Annapolis After Dark on this as well. All that coming up in just a bit, so hang tight.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. With all the talk of energy resilience in the news recently, I'm surprised there's not more talk about solar plus batteries, especially since 1/3 of all of our new residential solar projects include a battery backup system that provides instant energy security and peace of mind. And with incentives in place for battery backup, this investment is now more affordable than ever. With financing rates as low as 0.99% and plans offering 18 months same as cash, it's now easier than ever to go solar with no money down. Financing creates an easy bill swap scenario where you replace your electric bill with a loan payment, allowing you to build equity in your own personal energy supply. Don't wait for your next power outage to act. Contact us today at 410-923-6090 or visit us at solarsaves.net to learn more about solar with battery backup. Don't wait another minute. Sunshine's a wasted.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDVA Weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDVA Weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDVA Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Thursday, September 29th. Yesterday was a nice day with plenty of sunshine and very comfortable temps as well, around 70 degrees for PM highs. But winds were slightly breezy and clouds did start to move in during the afternoon hours, setting the stage for the next several days, which includes some changes ahead and some changes to the forecast. Expect plenty of clouds today and tomorrow with highs each day around 70 degrees, along with breezy winds each day as well, up to 20 to 25 miles per hour at times. From there, Hurricane Ian, which is still over Florida today and will likely then move briefly over the Atlantic before making another landfall somewhere likely along the South Carolina coast, likely as a tropical storm, before moving inland into North Carolina, will bring plenty of moisture northward, which now is expected to arrive in the Annapolis region very late Friday or early Saturday, and it will stick around both Saturday and Sunday and could be moderate to heavy at times, with the heaviest rainfall likely on Saturday, with rainfall totals overall in the 2 to 4 inch range, with some potential for amounts to reach 5 to 6 inches in isolated spots, especially to the south and southeast of Annapolis. As a result, there is some potential for flash flooding, and while not likely, there is a small chance that some water will be pushed from the Atlantic up the Chesapeake Bay from Hurricane Ian's counterclockwise circulation to the south, so we can't totally rule out the potential for a bit of coastal flooding as well, especially with a clockwise rotation of air around high pressure to the north, adding to the overall flow of air onshore from the Atlantic to the east. Stay tuned for updates on this upcoming weather maker, but enjoy the very comfortable late September conditions out there today and tomorrow. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DCMDVA Weather. Make it a great day out there today. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for regular updates each day, along with our website at dcmdvaweather.info. And definitely be sure to download our DCMDVA Weather app on all of your devices from either the Apple or Google App Stores, so you can always stay weather informed.
Another moving moment from Christy Neidhart of the Christy Neidhardt Team from Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster Company.
One of the most common questions we get, how do I maximize the value of my home before I sell it? It's a great question. We look at improvements like investments. What is the rate of return? For example, if we invest $5,000 in painting kitchen cabinets and installing granite, how much more will our home sell for? The answer? About $25,000 more. That's a 500% return on investment. Because of returns like this, we have started a program called Investing in You. We know cash is often tight when you're making a move, and we are here to help. We will front you up to $15,000 to invest in refreshing your home before you list it, with the agreement to be paid back once your home settles. Call us today so we can help you maximize your home's value.
That's another moving moment from Christy Neidhart. To get in touch, call 410-599-1370 or visit knteamcom. That's knteamcom.
Every week, makers, crafters, and educators hold events all over the area. Highlighting some of those, here's our Maker Minutes, brought to you by Annapolis Makerspace.
Hey, this is Trevor from Annapolis Makerspace with this week's Maker Minutes. Sunday, be sure to check out the First Sunday Arts Festival. There's only a couple more left before they shut down for the season, but there's always great stuff going on down there. Entertainment and food and lots of great vendors. At Knits and Pieces off of Bestgate Road, Saturday, check out their Modular Knitting 101. Learn a new type of knitting with color blocks and stripes with the Oak Park pattern. Sunday, their Learn to Knit Socks class concludes. Then on Monday, their Learn to Knit an Alpenglow Colorwork sweater starts. And registration is open for lots of classes coming up in October and November. But right around the corner is their pint-sized knitting class with a seamless baby hooded pullover and their Learn to Knit October sessions. Tomorrow, the Creative and Performing Arts of South County in Edgewater is having another art night for ages 7 through 10. As well as another session for ages 11 and up. This week's topic is group painting. On Saturday, the Wildberry Farm and Market out near Gambrills continues their Wildberry Field Markets with local vendors, food trucks, and fun for the kids. And on Sunday, check out their Fall Wreath Workshop at Whole Foods in Annapolis. Today, their Half Pint Kids Club is doing fruit and yogurt parfaits at Art Farm in Annapolis. Tonight, their First Exposure Photography class continues. Sunday, they have another Vibe, Flow, and Chill Yoga. And starting this week, today, check out their Exploring Process and Pattern for ages 10 through 15. And Saturday, they have their Experimenting with Layered Paint for ages 9 through 12. And their Kids Fall Semester continues next week. Monday, there's Kids Art School for ages 6 through 8, as well as Embroidery for ages 10 through 14. Tuesday, there's Intro to Short Story Writing for ages 12 through 16. Wednesday, their Fundamentals of Drawing for ages 8 through 11 starts. And also on Wednesday, check out Artist Wanted Intro to Graphic Design for ages 12 through 16. And wrapping up this week, on Saturday, is their Inspired by Nature class for ages 6 through 8. And registration is open for more of their fall semester classes starting in coming weeks. At the Anne Arundel County Public Library System this week, today at Eastport Annapolis NEC, they have a STEM challenge with Safe Landing, designing a tool to land a tiny astronaut in the safe zone. Saturday, Crofton has Ask a Master Gardener, Bush Annapolis has an outdoor sculpture workshop, and Deal has Gardening in SoCo, Watershed 101. On Monday, the Bush Annapolis Library is doing Little Artist, a preschool paint night in the morning, and Glen Burnie is doing Dia de los Muertos Creations, Decorate Your Own Sugar Skull. Tuesday, Eastport Annapolis NEC is doing a homeschool series with a STEM challenge, and Deal has an art night, Playing with Chalk. And finally, on Wednesday, the Bush Annapolis Library has Makerspace open hours, Broadneck has a paint night with autumn being the theme, Deal has SoCo Crafty Adventures, with a late morning, early afternoon session doing fiber arts, drawing, and a little bit of everything. And then in the afternoon, they have their Senior Crafternoon doing chalk art. And over at Unallocated Space in Severn, tonight is their virtual happy hour, Monday's their project night, Tuesday their Electronics Fundamentals class continues, and then on Wednesday is their open house. If you have any questions about the Annapolis Makerspace, the Maker Minutes, or any of these events, feel free to contact me at trevor@makeannapolis.org. And you can find links to all of these events at the Annapolis Makerspace website, also at makeannapolis.org. And whether you're making art, software, sawdust, or just a mess, chances are you're already a maker. This has been Trevor from Annapolis Makerspace with this week's Maker Minutes.
Ready for a new look for those end-of-summer parties? Come see us at Scout and Molly's. I'm Betsy Abraham. My mom and I own and operate this great little boutique at the Annapolis Town Center. After spending the last 2 years shopping online, come enjoy a fun, in-person shopping experience with a bonus, real customer service. We'd love to help you pick out the perfect outfit for back-to-school Annapolis boat shows and nights out with your friends. Scout and Molly's, Annapolis Town Center. Thanks for shopping local.
The music scene in Anne Arundel County is popping, and sometimes it's hard to sort through it all. From blues to pop, from funk to ska, Beeper Buzz has it all covered for you in this week's Annapolis After Dark.
Good morning, Annapolis. Beeper Buzz here with your Annapolis After Dark weekend music highlights for Wednesday, September 28th through Sunday, October 2nd. Go to the socials for Annapolis Streaming and Beeper Buzz, and also both websites for the full schedule. We update the event and all websites with changes and cancellations so you know before you go. AnnapolisStreaming.com and BeeperBuzz.com. September sure went by quickly with festivals every weekend. I'm already starting the schedule for Halloween, and that will be posted on the Beeper Buzz website just like last year. And I may have another costume contest like last year, too. I bounced around to the different Halloween parties, and people want a gift certificate at each of my stops. Watch my socials for more on that. Live music for today, Wednesday. Hippie Happy Hour is back at 49 West with Dave Chappelle and friends. This week's guest is Pete Ragusa, Dean Rosenthal, Jimmy Jacobs, and more. Peter James will be at Pirates Cove down in Galesville. Dana Denise, a club favorite, will be at Eastport Democratic Club, known as the EDC, but you must be a member or signed in by a member to attend. Daphne Ekman will be at Reynolds Tavern. Ryan Keith will be at Stan & Joe's. Thursday, Get to the Point for Brian Ewald. Burgers and Bands for Suicide Prevention is back, but this time it will be at the Annapolis Town Center after work. Music will be by Honey Soul. Nate Finn will be at Gary's Grill Solo. If you're on the Eastern Shore, last chance to catch one of my favorites, Jay Corsi Willis at Big Al Tiki Bar. This is the last Thursday for music there for the season. Chris Button will be at Senior Chili in Edgewater. The Dueling Pianos return to Sullivan's Cove in Severna Park Thursday night. Brant Austin Dunn will be at Reynolds Tavern. Jason and Matt from Troll Tribe will be on the rooftop at Metropolitan. And Thursday is also the last night for September Sunset Concerts by Annapolis Maritime Museum over at the park campus location at Ellen Moyer Back Creek Park. This week the music will be Loose Ties and the food truck will be Chevy's. Weekend music. Friday night is gonna be lit in DTA. Start with Happy Hour at Blackwall Hitch with Dana B and stay for Wheelhouse Rock Band. They absolutely brought it to the Maryland Seafood Festival over the weekend. This will be a fun one you will not want to miss. The Grilled Lincolns are at Annapolis Smokehouse. Nate Finn and Jack Schenk are back at Annapolis Market House. Dan Healy will be at Reynolds Tavern. 2 floors of free music at Middleton Tavern with Moran Tripp Band downstairs and Donald Wolcott upstairs in the piano bar. The Music Room with Scott Himes and Scott Voorhees will be at Rams Head Roadhouse. Meerkat Nation will be rocking Crofton Cantina in Gambrills. Red Buddy and the Ruckus will be at Romulo's in Severna Park. Saturday, day 1 of the Annapolis Baygrass Music Festival at Sandy Point. Locals Moose Jaw Bluegrass and Wicked Sycamore will be performing on Saturday along with some big names. The annual Fall Fest returns to EDC Saturday for members and guests of members. Music will be by Tambo Band and Solid Sender Trio. Up in Severna Park at Severna Park Tap House, their fall concert series continues with George Evans and Tom Scott. At Old Stein Inn in Edgewater, Sylvia will be strolling on the accordion. Nate Finn Trio will be making their debut at the Hideaway, which is somewhere in Odenton. Catch Ben Heemstraw at Smashing Grapes in Annapolis Saturday night. The National Bohemians will be rocking Dark Horse. 2 floors of free music at Middleton Tavern with Michael McHenry Tribe downstairs and Alex Cooper upstairs in the piano bar. If you missed Moran Tripp Band, catch them again Saturday night at Stan & Joe's. Sunday Fun Day and Day 2 of the Annapolis Baygrass Music Festival at Sandy Point. This day has local favorites Chris Jacobs and the Dirty Grass Players on schedule. Lots of big names you will not want to miss the opportunity to see. Start with brunch with Ryan DeLuca of Moondog at the Graduate Hotel in the Trophy Room. First Sunday returns to downtown Annapolis this Sunday with music by Honey Soul, Naptown Funk, and more. After that, hang out for Brendan Lane at Stan & Joe's, Brant Austin Dunn in Market Space, or Kieran Quinn at Galway Bay. You can also catch Mike Miller at Senior Chili in Arnold. These are just the highlights. Find the full schedule of music for Annapolis and surrounding areas on the websites AnnapolisStreaming.com and BeeperBuzz.com, spelled BeePrbuzz. Add the websites to the homepage to make them an app. 2 clicks to the music anytime. I'll see you out there.
Coping with advanced illness can be overwhelming, and determining the best options for a loved one isn't always so easy. But here at Hospice of the Chesapeake, your hometown hospice, we want you to know you do have a choice. You can choose exactly who provides the care and the type of care you receive, and it's your decision when and where your loved one receives that care. We have served our community, family, and friends for over 40 years. We are there when you need us. Learn how we can help at hospicechesapeake.org.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at EyeOnAnnapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.